Here's an interesting experience from a lawyer. Chinedu Agu is a solicitor and a notary public. Past secretary of NBO Owerri came into Enugu from Owerri in Imo State and wrote down his experience while he was in Enugu, all the while that the NBA conference happened. So I'm just going to read it and also have you react to that. As the goalkeeper of NBO Owerri FC, I went to Enugu to represent my branch in the NBA football tournament, where 40 branches battled for glory at the just concluded AGC as the annual general conference. We came fourth, a commendable feat, but beyond that, I was privileged to be awarded the Golden Glove as the best goalkeeper of the tournament. It was a moment of honor, but the true reward came not from a medal. It came from the eye-opening, soul-wrenching experience of spending 10 days, August 18th to 28th in Enugu, a city that, quite frankly, left me in awe and in pain. Because I drove myself and spent time moving around Enugu, I can say with confidence, I saw the city, I felt it, I lived it, and what I saw left me with one question: what happened to us in Imo State? From the moment I entered Enugu, I noticed something strange. No potholes. Yes, I drove across town from GRA to Wani, from Independence Layout to Transekulu, and never once did I fear my tires would burst or my suspension collapse. The roads were motorable, marked, clean, and vigilantly maintained. Contrast this with Imo State, where even the so-called capital city of Owerri is riddled with craters that swallow cars and test your patience daily. Literally, a man driving in Owerri carries his heart in his hands. But in Enugu, I drove with ease. No fear of boom sounds, no zigzagging, no to avoid gullies in the middle of the road, just calm. One of the most painful yet enlightening moments of my trip was my visit to the Enugu's Geographic Information System, AGIS, an agency under the Ministry of Lands. I went there to conduct a simple search, and what I saw stunned me. Digitized records, clear service processes, courteous staff, and fast results. This is how a public institution should function. Now tell me, when last did anyone walk into Imo State Ministry of Lands and successfully conduct a search? That ministry has been under lock and key for over 2 years. A ministry that holds the key to economic developments, investments, and housing completely paralyzed. What kind of leadership allows such critical infrastructure to collapse while singing songs of development? When an animal's head begins to rot, it's been left in water too long. That is what has happened to our institutions in Imo State. In Enugu, the police were present, but not predatory. They were there to maintain order, not to extort, intimidate, or frustrate motorists. For 10 days, I was not stopped indiscriminately. I was not asked for particulars, ECMR, or fill our car. The officers were polite, civil, and professional. I even saw a vehicle marked DRS, District Response Squad, strategically situated at major junctions and roundabouts, ready for emergency response. An idea clearly built around public service, not harassment. In fact, a colleague told me how they quickly responded on Tuesday night to a distress call to rescue a lawyer whose leg got stuck inside a gutter in front of Golden Royale after the meet and greet outing of the Eastern Bar Forum. The hotel management called and they responded in less than 4 minutes. But in Imo, the story is different. Young men drive with their hearts in their mouths. Police stop you for sport. In fact, if you don't want trouble in Imo State, don't drive. They are at all nooks and crannies, not to protect but to prey, especially at nights. Amakohe Road before Amakohe Flyover, Onisha Road before AA Rano Fuel Station, Bank Road, Warehouse Roundabout, Okigwe Road before Government College, OG, before OG Flyover, MCC Road, Concord Road, Yaradua Drive, Egbeda Road, before AA Rano Junction, just to mention but a few. Drive down there tonight and you will definitely see them preying on young motorists and commercial drivers in a manner most callous. Being a lawyer, I paid attention to the judiciary during my stay. In Enugu, the courts are active, orderly, and strategically digitizing. There is a chief judge in place, and we were even treated to a cocktail by Chief Judge of Enugu during the NBA conference. That is a judiciary that understands its role as a partner in nation building. Meanwhile, in Imo, we do not currently have a chief judge for a state battling land disputes, insecurity, and civil unrest that is dangerous. It's also telling courts are underfunded, under-equipped, increasingly inefficient, and non-existent in this vacation period. I visited Harcourt in Abia State from Enugu last Thursday, and I saw how digitization is transforming how records are kept and accessed. The future is arriving at our neighboring state while Imo clutches tightly and happily to the past. The tortoise says it will go on a journey, but forgets that it must have strong legs. You cannot build a future with broken systems. During the NBA conference, over 20,000 lawyers descended on Enugu, yet the city did not choke. Why? Because the road network absorbed the pressure. Planning worked. Agencies worked. Compare that to Owerri. A single wedding can lock down the entire city. There's no plan, no foresight. Link roads are abandoned. Intersections are chaotic. If you want to see the practical definition of chaos, drive down to World Bank last roundabout or Hospital Junction at Port Harcourt Road. And yet, we clap for every shallow project, every half-done road, every fresh coat of paint. Until the leadership changes how it sees governance, nothing will change in this abandoned property called Imo State. This is not an attack piece. This is a lamentation, a public mourning, because it is shameful that Imo, once a shining light of the southeast, has now become its sick patients, limping behind as Enugu, Abia, Ebonyi march forward, and probably looking at this recent Anambra and saying, let's limp along. Imo is falling apart, and those who should speak have zipped their mouths. Let me speak to those still praising mediocrity, especially lawyers who ought to know better. You must not give a vulture the food meant for a hen. We are rewarding those who have failed us while punishing our own future. If you truly love Imo, stop clapping, start asking questions, start demanding good governance. After 10 days in Enugu, my heart is heavy. I love Imo State, I owe my roots to it, but love tells the truth, and the truth is, we are broken, we are behind, and no one is coming to save us unless we rise to demand better. So I raise my voice, and as a lawyer, a son of the soil, and I say, Enugu is working, Imo is rotten. From Chinedu Agu is a solicitor and a notary public, past secretary of NBO Owerri. It's writing from Owerri. What do you make of that? Tell me what you think. If you live in Imo State, if you visited recently, was there any exaggeration in his write-up? Did you enjoy it? Do you think that what he was saying is actually true, or you feel he was just cooking things up? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you as always.